Lesson Sharp 6 Exercise Sharp 1 Practice energy breathing with the lungs. Lung energy refers to the metal energy that is responsible for the functioning of the lungs, colon, and skin. The skin is the largest organ of our body. It has a strong energy radiation. Therefore, it is our second energy defense. The first is the biofield, and can also breathe. If the second energy protection is violated, it means that there is not enough energy in the lungs, and a parasitic energy entity can penetrate into our biofield. Practices of energy breathing with the lungs and skin increase the energy of the metal and restore energy defenses. But these practices will not get rid of the parasitic essence. It must be removed separately, otherwise it will constantly weaken the body, pumping out all the energy from it. Only by removing the energy parasite, it is possible to increase protection. If you perform the practice during RV, the recovery will come faster. In a depressed state, you need to perform the exercise daily for at least 20 minutes for a month, 10 minutes with the right lung and 10 minutes with the left. Then we perform the practice of energy breathing with the channels of the lungs, then the red line, in which we break through the second dantian. In contrast to previous practices, we always start breathing with the lungs on the right side, since our heart is located on the left, and the white color of metal energy is not useful for the heart at all. The main position is sitting comfortably. First part, hands are on the right side of the chest, corresponding to the location of the right lung. 1. Inhale, a white luminous mist from the bottom up fills the right lung. 2. Exhale, light gray energy goes in an arc to the ground. This is similar to how the water rises from the bottom up through the channels of the fountain, filling the figures, and then in an arc flows into the ground in a stream. We just fill the lung with pure white energy, and it goes into the ground light gray, already wasted energy. Breathe for 5 minutes. Second part, raise your arms a little higher in the area of the bronchi. We present the bronchi as a fairly thick white tube. 1. Inhale, a white luminous mist rises from below along a thick white tube and fills it with itself. Pause. 2. Exhale, light gray energy arcs down to the center of the earth. Breathe for 5 minutes. Third part, put your hand on the neck and your palm on the trachea. We represent the trachea in a form of a small thin tube. 1. Inhale, a white luminous mist rises from below along a thin white tube and fills it with itself. Pause. 2. Exhale, light gray energy goes in an arc to the ground. Breathe for 5 minutes. Fourth part, put your hands on the right side of the chest, according to the location of the right lung. 1. Inhale, a white luminous mist rises and fills the lung, then a thick white tube of the bronchi, a thin white tube of the trachea, and rises even higher, filling the right sinuses of the nose. Pause. 2. Exhale, light gray energy from the sinuses of the nose in an arc goes to the ground. Breathe for 5 minutes. Repeat all parts with the left lung. Please note, when practicing on the left side, it is the left lung that should be clearly represented, and not just the movement of energy along the left side of the chest. Otherwise, the energy of the metal can touch the heart. Lesson Sharp 6 Exercise Sharp 2 Practice energy breathing with the channels of the lungs. The energy channels of the lungs start from the tip of the thumb and reach up to the shoulder. We start the practice with the left hand. The main position, sitting or standing, as it is more convenient. The hand should be placed so as not to overbend the channel. First part, we present the channel as a cocktail straw. 1. Inhale, white energy from the tip of the thumb rises up the left arm to the shoulder. Pause. 2. Exhale, light gray energy goes down the arm and rushes to the center of the earth. Breathe for 5 to 10 minutes. Second part, imagine that the canal has become bigger, like a garden hose. 1. Inhale, white energy from the tip of the thumb slowly rises up the arm to the shoulder. Pause. 2. Exhale, light gray energy goes along the arm and rushes to the center of the earth. Breathe for 5 to 10 minutes. Repeat the practice with the right arm. In cases where there are any problems with the lungs, for the first time we do the practice for 20 minutes on each arm, and then for a month we do the practice breathing with the lungs and breathing with the channels of the lungs for 20 minutes at each. If there was some kind of parasitic entity, then -40 minutes a day for all practice together, both arms, breathing with the lungs and lungs channels. In a depressed state, -40 minutes, then the red line, in which we break through the second dantian. If after performing the practices of breathing with the lungs and lung channels, you have a sudden panic attack or a surge of depression, we immediately sit down in the practice of the red line, and break through the second dantian, which is responsible for our emotions. It is there that negative energy has accumulated, causing feelings of melancholy, sadness, and other negative emotions. We remove negative energy from ourselves by performing the red line practice and breaking through the second dantian. It is like cleaning a closet. We took out all the old and dilapidated things, threw them away, wiped the shelves from the dust, but our shelves remained empty. They should be filled with new beautiful things, so the second dantian need to be filled with positive emotions, new energy. Therefore, after the red line, it is necessary to stand in the tree practice to fill the organs with fresh energy, and they, in turn, will give energy to the second dantian. The heart will give joy, the kidneys tenderness, the lungs a sense of lightness and grace. When performing practice, you need to keep in mind that a single execution will not give the desired effect. The body has been tuned to low frequency waves for a long time, so from time to time it will lose its rhythm, falling under the influence of negative emotions and energies. This can be compared to how we go along a familiar route for ourselves. Our body itself turns in the right direction, without even thinking. If the route has changed, we have to control the situation. The same thing happens with energy. If the body has been synchronizing with negative energy for a long time, you must constantly monitor your state to prevent switching to negative. Daily practices will help the body quickly tune into a new positive wave and work in a new mode for it. This can be compared to neatness. After spilling coffee or tea on ourselves, we do not go around in dirty clothes, but immediately send them to the laundry. So is our body. A negative appeared, we cleaned up and filled ourselves with new energy. If this is not done, the result simply will not be. The less energy we have, the lower our emotions and overall well-being. Therefore, we fill ourselves with new energy, so that there is no room for negative energy.